feel like right now I have two full-time jobs, and I'm gonna have to choose between them going forward because it's not sustainable. But one of my jobs, my favorite job, is being a developer. I love programming. I love building things. It's been my life's work. Programming's been my passion since I was a little kid. So that's a lot of what I do. More valuable to Hipmunk, though, is managing the engineering team we have. Me as one developer isn't nearly as valuable as the other 15 we have, and keeping those guys productive and keeping their morale high, and moving forward, with those guys. So my other role is basically keeping those guys happy and productive. That's a good question. I don't know what else I would do. We started Reddit, Alexis and I, immediately after graduating college. And we had known even before Reddit, we knew we were going to start a company together. We just didn't really know what that company would be. And I think it's just because the thought of being an employee just didn't seem fun. I was a programmer. I knew I was going to be programming. And so your options are basically work for somebody else or start your own business. And as a developer, the barriers to entry starting your own business are very, very low. So we basically said at the time, why not? And I think I'm still saying, why not? Paul Graham was a big one growing up. My parents divorced when I was young, and so one of the upsides of that is, and they both remarried, and so I had basically two fathers. I had my birth father and then my stepfather, who I grew up with. And I had very different relationships with both of them, but they were both tremendously influential. And I think that was one of the silver linings of growing up in a divorced family, is you have so many more influences. And so my two fathers and my mother, I've looked up to my entire life. I'm not sure. This is something I actually talk a lot about. Like when I talk to people about who are thinking about doing a startup, I would say make sure you know what your motivation is. And I usually follow it up with, I'm not sure what my own motivation is. It changes all the time. Some days it's just money. It's like, if all else fails, at least I'm creating value. Most days it's this huge fear of failure, I think. And I feel like fear of failure can be, it's often described as a negative force, that it causes like this paralysis in people. But I feel like for me, it's a very motivating force, where I want to make sure I deliver on what I said I could do, or I want to make sure I don't end up looking stupid, or I feel like I'm chasing the guys who are in front of me who have been more successful, and so other days at Hipmunk, Hipmunk we're close to 30 employees now, and so other days my motivation is just those guys, like we are their livelihood. I want them to have jobs. I want it to work out for them. I want Hipmunk to be big so they do well. So it's a lot of things, and it changes every day.